Maybe the best way to get to Yankee Stadium is the 4 train. Whether you're coming from the north or the south, it gets you right here to the stadium to watch Yankee baseball. And today, the Mariners play Game 2 of a 3-game set here in New York City against the Bronx Bombers. Welcome, everybody, to Mariner Baseball. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports crew on hand. Take a look at the Mariner batting order that will face their ex-teammate, Michael Pineda.
The starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. Leading off again, it'll be Brad Miller, then Kyle Seager. In the last 2 games here in New York, 6 extra base hits, including 3 home runs. Had 2 of them in last night's ball game. In the middle of the lineup, you have Cano, Cruz, and Smith. Jackson moves down. He will hit 6. Trumbo had yesterday off the DH, today batting 7th. Morrison and Zunino round out the 9 for the Mariners. For Pineda on the year, a 9-5 record, 3.64 ERA, but over 106 in the third. This year, 111 strikeouts, a lot of strikeouts for him, only 13 walks, giving up 10 home runs. Opponents batting average a little bit high at 275. And a look at the American Family Insurance defensive setup for the Yankees this afternoon. Gardner in left field, Ellsbury in center, Jones out in right. Headley getting the start at third base. Gregorius the shortstop. Ref Snyder recently called up. He will be at second. Mark Teixeira is at first base, and Brian McCann will do the catching. Again, Pineda, they're trying to give him the rest when they can. 8 days since his last start. And he's coming off an injury from last year, so they're trying to get him through the season. He's pitched well for him, and with the other injuries they've had, he becomes important. So Joe Girardi, the manager, trying to give him as much rest as possible. Again, for Pineda, you're going to see a pretty good fastball. He throws a cutter. It'll be around 93 miles an hour. Times he can top out at 95. His slider is his best pitch, an occasional changeup from him.
It was impressive last time we saw him. Monday, June 1st, back in Seattle. 7-2 Yankee victory with 6+ innings, 7 hits, 2 runs. Lloyd McClendon hoping that they'll see more productivity out of Kyle Seager and have Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano, Seth Smith join in on the party.
One of the things we've talked about Kyle over the years is every year he's improving, and he looks like he's on track for that again. Has his batting average up to 271. 14 home runs and 42 RBIs for Kyle. Last year he had 25 home runs, so he's well on his way to doing that again.
Lloyd McClendon recently told him, before this hitting streak, he says, what were you doing before when you were having a great run last year? Because he had made a couple of changes in his stance. Just go back to that and just let it rip. Let it go. And the same thing with Cruz. Cruz had been a guy high elbow up and he had dropped it down. He says, why are you changing?
Because they're athletes and they're always going to try to find a better way, Dave.
Boy, it was hysterical. That's what I was talking to. Told both guys, what are you changing for? You're killing it. Get back to that.
Well, it's paying off for him now.
Yeah. Where's Brad Miller? Start things off. Nice hazy day here in New York City. First pitch coming at 1:09 Eastern time. Fouls that one off. Checking on Brian McCann, see if he's okay. It's Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire, working with Eric Cooper at first, Lance Barksdale at second, and Quinn Walcott at third. Leacher Creatures going through the roll call right now, out in right field. Here's 1-1 to Miller. Hit the other way. Good start for the Mariners. Base hit, left field. Gardner gets it back in. And Brad Miller with a single to set it up for Kyle Seager. We take a look at our Arco top tier performer. Last 2 games here at the stadium, a double, 2 triples, 3 homers. First visiting player with 6 extra base hits in 2 games at the old or new Yankee Stadium. This ballpark opened back in '09.
And we saw it last night. The Yankees will put the shift on with Kyle hitting.
Seager looking to extend his hitting streak to 8 games. Looks at a strike. 2 for 3 against Pineda.
We talked about it a little bit last night, and we talked about the shifts and going in that direction. I think this is one of the few ballparks for Kyle where I wouldn't worry about it too much. He paid off for the couple of home runs yesterday. If he gets something middle away to inside corner, give him a chance to hit the ball in the air to right.
Made him working inside and missed 1-1.
And for Kyle, you can see his hits by direction this year. Obviously, a lot more of them going to right field, but he is starting to spread it out a little bit more. 22 hits to the left, staying back up in the middle of the field with 26 now.
Not a big lead by Miller. Pitch. Slow ground ball. Ref Snyder goes to Gregorius, and Seager beats it out. 4-6 fielder's choice.
We'll take a look at it. Ball was not hit sharply. Tough to turn the double play. Miller goes into second hard, though. It's a nice clean slide. Just trying to break it up.
There's Robbie Cano. Not a productive night last night. 0 for 4. Fly out, strikeout, looking at 2 groundouts. It's this one hard. Deep center field. Slicing away, and it is gone. A 2-run jack. Robbie Cano here at the stadium puts the Mariners ahead 2-0. That's his 7th home run. RBI number 31 and 32, and you know that felt great.
Well, he hit it over 400 feet. It's 408 to dead center field, and he ends up getting a fastball up out over the plate. You were mentioning last night going 0 for 4. One of the reasons why I picked him on the radio side for today's game. Typically, I like picking players that are playing against their former team, and for Cano, this is a good way to start the day, especially for his ball club 2-run homer.
That is a welcome sight. There's Nelson Cruz. 0 for his last 7, looking to get hot again. Looks at strike 1.
And again, Pineda does not give up many home runs. Only 10, now 11 home runs on the season.
One to Nelly. Home stick last night. 3 strikeouts. And a line out to right. 0 for 4. Gregorius in the hole. Long throw, stretched by Teixeira. Ooh, they got him. First base umpire Eric Cooper with an emphatic call.
Oh, they thought maybe Teixeira pulled his foot off the bag when he made the catch, and they're waiting right now to see if Floyd wants to challenge the play. Good hustle by Cruz and a great play by Gregorius. We talked about him yesterday, an outstanding athlete. He's able to get a lot on this throw, and Teixeira, you can see him pick it, and he is off the bag.
By a lot.
That should be an infield hit. And they will take a look at it. Great look at American Airlines Supermo, and the stretch by Teixeira. A little bit tougher to see. His toe is clearly off the bag.
That'll be the 3rd hit of the inning for the Mariners.
Teixeira has to be one of the top defensive first basemen in this league. He makes so many great plays, and the Yankees this year have had their struggles. They've made a lot of errors this year, and they say that Teixeira has saved their infielders, a lot of them, because of throws. And he makes a really strong stretch right here and tries to pick it out of the dirt and fighting to keep his foot on the base.
3-time All-Star. Does a great job. The ball's hit right at him, too, and he's got good range left or right. Sit and take long. Safe. There you go. 3rd hit in the inning for the Mariners. Sets up nicely for Seth Smith. A 2-0 lead on the Cano home run against Michael Pineda. Minute 15 on the replay review. Maybe one of the shorter ones we've had this season. There's Smitty, 0 for 2 last night. Looks at ball 1. He's 1 for 3 against Pineda. Cruz at first, 1 out. 2-1. One other game underway. Tampa Bay at Toronto just starting. 2-2 to Seth. Yankees start today 4.5 up on Tampa Bay, first place in the American League East. Mariners in fourth place in the West, 8.5 behind the Angels.
And for Seth, good homestand for him. 462 average. We have a similar road trip.
Worked inside and missed. What a great emotional boost to see Cano hit a home run, his first in the last 11 days. Put it in play. Third baseman Headley will shovel to Gregorius, and that's all they'll get. Force 5-6 on put out. I'll bring up Austin Jackson. Robbie Cano, big home run here in the first inning. 2-0 Mariners. Brings up Austin Jackson, 4 for his last 8. Austin 3 for 9 against Michael Pineda. Saints extend this inning.
And this is interesting, just watching the defense. Ref Snyder, the second baseman, is playing right up the middle. Teixeira obviously holding the runner on, so there's a huge hole on the right side of the infield. One of the things we've seen from Austin, especially when he's been swinging the bat well, is he will stay more to the right side of the field, so maybe he can pick up a base hit through the right side of the infield here.
Physically a big pitching staff the Yankees have with Pineda at 6'7", CC Sabathia 6'6", Andrew Miller last night's about 6'7", 6'8", Betances is 6'8". There's CC. He'll be starting tomorrow's game, the finale. Jackson trying to do some 2-strike hitting here. 1-2, fouls it, and McCann can't hold on. Coming up tomorrow, this will be a good one. CenturyLink what's next? It'll be the King, Felix Hernandez against CC Sabathia. Felix's numbers, fabulous. CC, probably on the back end of his career, which has been a wonderful career. Cleveland, Milwaukee here, and here with the Yankees. Here's a 1-2 to Jackson. Smith at first, inside. Ball 2, 2-2. Felix with a 5-1 record at New Yankee Stadium. Two and 2. Put it in play, and Teixeira with the backhand. Pineda covers, and that'll do it. 2-run homer by Robinson Cano. His first as a Mariner in Yankee Stadium, New Yankee Stadium, and his second here in this ballpark. Mariners have an early lead with the Yankees coming to bat. Last time on the mound here at Yankee Stadium, Iwakuma on May 15th last year had a 12-2 victory. He'd like to pick up where he left off. Let's take a look at the Yankee batting order that he'll face this afternoon.
Former manager Joe Girardi leading things off will be Jacoby Ellsbury, 310 average for him. And then it's Gardner. Alex Rodriguez, the DH, hitting third. Teixeira in his career against Seattle. 290 batting average with 35 home runs and 90 RBIs. And it's McCann Headley, the third baseman. He will bat sixth. Garrett Jones came on as a pinch hitter last night, getting the start today, batting seventh. Gregorius and Rep Snyder round out the nine for the Yankees. For Iwakuma on the year, 1-1 record, ERA over 5. In 29-30, he has 20 strikeouts, 5 walks, giving up 9 home runs.
Here's Jacoby Ellsbury to lead things off. Ball 1. Seager in on the grass at third.
For Iwakuma in his last outing against the Angels, it really pitched well again, going 8 innings, just 3 hits, did not give up a run in that one. And I thought it was interesting. I'll be curious to see where his fastball is at today, especially as he gets in the game, because he typically is going to be 88 to 91 in that range. He was 93 miles an hour, hit 94 one time. So he felt pretty good in his last outing.
Very encouraging. 1-1 pitch. Found back by Ellsbury.
For Iwakuma, he has all the pitches. Obviously a fastball we've talked about. His splitter is his best off-speed pitch. He'll mix in a slider, also a curveball, an occasional cutter.
Seager's backed off at third. 1-2 pitch off the fist, fouled back.
Pretty good fastball, trying to get it in on the hands. When you look at the Yankees, they've hit a lot of home runs in this ballpark. They've played well here. And a lot of left-handed hitters. I think, again, Rick Wade's talking to him. You have to pitch inside if you're a right-handed pitcher against these left-handed hitters just to keep them honest.
Comebacker. Stabbed nicely by Iwakuma, one away.
Take a look at the defense for the Mariners this afternoon. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith in left field. Jackson in center. Nelson Cruz is out in right. Seager at third. Miller and Cano flying up the middle. Logan Morrison at first base. And Mike Zunino will do the catching this afternoon. Good sign on that last split, getting the ground ball. Dave keeping it down. If he throws his split and he gets a strike, you want to see it at the bottom of the strike zone. I'd like to see him bounce it up there quite a bit today. See if he can get him to chase it.
Very impressive performance a week ago against the Angels. Here's Brett Gardner. Left fielder.
Talk about it every now and then, but Gary Cederstrom, veteran umpire behind home plate, that last pitch, Iwakuma just below. That's an area he needs to stay, and hopefully Gary will help him out a little bit on the bottom of the strike zone or just below it.
Backhanded by Miller, and throws out the speedy Gardner. Out number 2. Take a look at our Columbia Bank difference of the game. The way things were set up, no Charlie Ferbers, but you got a veteran left-hander in Joe Beimel. He wanted to execute a pitch down in the zone, left it up, and man, did he pay a big price.
Well, that's what happens from time to time, and for Joe, again, he was able to get that pitch on the outside corner, maybe even just off the outside corner, but it was elevated enough for Alex to get it in the air and hit it out of the ballpark.
19th home run for Rodriguez. He's got 52 runs batted in and career homer number 673. First time Iwakuma and Rodriguez are squaring off. Things could pick up for the Mariners if you got Iwakuma steady in the rotation here from now through the end of the season. Be a big difference maker going along with Felix. Sort of like the original game plan.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think that you have to be happy with the job that Montgomery's done. Walker certainly is coming into his own. I think, and you mentioned it earlier, it's critical for them to get Charlie back as soon as he's ready to go.
Rodriguez knew it. Takes a call, third strike, and a fine start for Hisashi Iwakuma, trying to win back-to-back ball games here at Yankee Stadium. Won his last one here back in May of last year, 2-0 Mariners. Mariners baseball here in Root Sports, being brought to you by Alaska Airlines. 80 non-stop destinations and growing. By your local Ford stores. By the Emerald Queen Casino, welcoming Martina McBride. The Everlasting Tour, August 1st. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. And by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. New Yankee Stadium opened in 2009, across the street from the site of the venerable original Yankee Stadium. Good to have you with us here, Mariner baseball. Inning number 2. There's Mark Trumbo. Trumbo, a pinch hit single, 2-strike hitting, fouled off a couple of pitches last night with 2 outs to keep the 9th inning going. Eventually ended with Montero striking out. That was good at bat.
Well, we've talked about it with Mark, and you have to start somewhere, and it started before the All-Star break. Started to pick up some hits, hitting the ball the other way. I don't think there's any question when he starts to gain some confidence, feel good about himself where he's at in the batter's box, we're going to see the power from him.
That should be caught. It will be by out there by Garrett Jones.
Give you an idea of the kind of power he has. Yeah. He kind of missed that ball and took him to the warning track.
Pretty good. And didn't even stride into it. He just threw his hands at it. Here's Logan Morrison. You think he'd like to get some of this short porch action?
I think everybody would like to see him do that, get him moving in the right direction again. It was hot for a period there, and you see the 12 home runs, but his average has been dipping as of late, so it'd be nice to get him moving in the right direction as well. I mean, Miller's been swinging the bat better. Kyle obviously has been hot. Good to see Cano with the 2-run homer. Start mixing in these guys towards the bottom of the lineup. Really have something going offensively.
Morrison's 12 home runs, one better than a season total last year. 2-0. A heck of a year in terms of his position in the batting order. It's been anywhere from 1 through 8. Now they hit Cederstrom on the right leg. 3-0. Mike Zunino on deck.
Would not be surprised if Lloyd turns him loose right here. He can get a fastball, something he can pull towards right field.
.30 pitch. Takes for strike.
There's Probably looking for something middle to middle in. That pitch was up and on the outside corner, so just take it. Best fastball we've seen from Pineda so far at 95 miles an hour.
Shift on against Lomo. And it the other way. Deep. Left field down the line. And it is a foul ball. Quinn Wolcott, third base umpire, had a good look at it.
Fortunately, where we're sitting, we can't see all the way down the line when it gets down towards the corner, but it was a late call, and Gardner did the right thing as a left fielder. He played it as if it was going to be called fair. So, it had to be a really close play down there, watching the reaction of the umpire and the left fielder.
And at the base of the fence, just off the chalk. Some dirt splatter there. A full count now to Morrison. 1 out, nobody on. Mariners lead 2-0. Robbie Cano with a home run. First pitch you saw, first inning. With Kyle Seager aboard. Pitch to Lomo. To Sheriff. Flips again to Pineda. Second time they've worked for an out. Make sure you join us for a memorable afternoon as we honor Jamie Moyer and induct him into the Mariners Hall of Fame. All takes place Saturday, August 8th at Safeco Field. To arrive early, you'll enjoy a special pregame ceremony. It's going to start at 12:30. Go to Mariners.com for your tickets. 2 outs, and it'll bring up the struggling Mike Zunino. Hitting a 162 with 9 homers and 20 runs batted in.
And the Yankees will put the shift on with Mike hitting.
Mike did pick up a base hit to right last night in the 5th inning, going 1 for 3. 1-1. One pitch. Hit hard, and it is foul.
Line drive over Headley, the third baseman for the Yankees, and just fouled by about a foot. This will be a good test for Mike today with Pineda because of all the cut fastballs and sliders, and he'll have to cover the outer half of the plate. That last pitch was in the middle of the plate and elevated. A mistake from Pineda.
1-2 to Mike. Keeps the at bat going. Sun breaking through some of the clouds. 78 degrees at first pitch. Supposed to be 90 tomorrow, and the humidity right behind it. High humidity forecast for tomorrow. Two outs and a 2-2 pitch. Into the camera well.
All around the strike zone. Changing speeds. Mike so far in this bat has seen everything from 82 to 94.
Do it again here, 2-2. Struck him out. 1-2-3 go the Mariners in the second, but they have a 2-0 lead here in New York. take a look at our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts category. Most scoreless starts in the American League since 2012. The Mariners have 2 of them. Felix Hernandez, Sashi Iwakuma, Chris Sale of the Chicago White Sox. Mark Teixeira leads off for the Yankees, followed by Brian McCann and Chase Headley. 4, 5, and 6 against Iwakuma.
Mariners have the shift on, so Kyle Seager moves over to the right side of the infield. Brad Miller, the shortstop, staying in his normal position.
Two-0. Zach's 0 for 2 last night. Struck out his first 2 times up. Next 2 plate appearances, he walked. Third in the All-Star game Tuesday in Cincinnati. 3rd time to the All-Star game. 2-1. Kuma coming off a 6 strikeout performance last outing against the Angels. That's a season best in his 5 previous starts. And he gets Teixeira going after a pitch up in the zone. Getting his 2nd strikeout, back-to-back Ks here in this ballgame.
Able to get the 2nd strike in this last strike. Right at the top of the strike zone, maybe just above it, as you take a look at the Alaska Airlines Supermo and the swing by Teixeira. You see how much he stays on his backside. He really likes to hit the low ball, so a couple of quality pitches for Iwakuma.
Coming to face Yankee catcher Brian McCann. Left field coming in, Seth Smith. There to make the catch. And quick 2 outs here in the 2nd inning. Sunday, July 26th. Kyle Seager poster day at Safeco Field. Mariners will be taking on the Blue Jays. And thanks to Topps, all youngsters are going to take home a poster of the Gold Glover, plus a baseball card set featuring your favorite major leaguers. Get your tickets at mariners.com. Blue Jays, top scoring team in baseball, 5.35 runs per ball game. Switch hitting 3rd baseman Chase Headley. Got an RBI single last night, 4th inning. Sixth start for Iwakuma. And this one finds a hole, beats the shift. Didn't hit it hard, but hard enough.
First base hit and base runner for the Yankees so far. Iwakuma was able to jam him a little bit, gets in on his hands. But he finds a hole back up the middle.
And they'll keep the shift on for Garrett Jones.
And it will be the first time that Iwakuma will pitch out of the stretch.
First pitch, and former Pirate Marlins in there for strike. Three-run homer in the 11th. Back on June 2nd in Seattle, a Yankee 5-3 win. One and one. I know you haven't seen a lot of the Yankees, but do they have enough to hold off Tampa Bay and Toronto?
Well, I think that obviously they have a couple of strengths. One, they hit the ball out of the ballpark, especially here in their home field. And 2, they have a great bullpen, back end of a bullpen. So when they get leads, they're hanging on to them, and I think that's a pretty good key for them.
Miller easy flip. It'll be a 6-5 put out on Headley. Good inning for Iwakuma. 2-0 Mariners. Good to have you here in New York watching the Mariners. We were just talking about the American League East standings. We look at the Delta Airlines keep climbing standings. Here's what it looks like. And we were talking about this last night, a 5-car pileup in the American League East. Toronto Mariners will see them when we get home. Mariners go from here to Detroit and then see Toronto next weekend for 3 games and followed by Arizona. Big swing and a miss by Brad Miller as we're back to the top of the order. Brad opened up the ball game with a single to left and a 1-1 pitch. Fouls this one off. .333 hitter since June 26th. How about that Dodger-Washington game last night? Had to call it off. They'll resume it coming up at 2:05 Eastern today with it's going to be about 15-20 minutes. Back the lights went out about 3 times and they just shut it down. And Miller looks at a called third strike. Max Scherzer, Bryce Harper said the origin of the blackout is undetermined. They're trying to figure out it was the aftermath of the Taylor Swift concert or Bryce Harper and his hairdryer. But boom, boom, they'll be here all week. Tip those waiters.
I was trying to think of a game where I've been a part of where that has happened. I think the only thing I was close to is I know they had some issues in Baltimore one year, and we didn't get started. Eventually we played the game, but never during the game like that.
Gregorius, really good range. 2 outs. Well, here's Cano for the second time. Hearing it from Yankee fans. 5-time All-Star here with the Pinstripers. 2-run homer, and he hit it a long way, a slicing drive that had to go about 420 feet. Home run number 7 for Cano, and took his RBI total to 32.
We'll switch back and forth on you as far as taking pitches or being aggressive early in counts. In the home run, he was aggressive on right away, and he's aggressive again with that line drive.
Those are the balls that he hit a lot of last year. Taking what they're giving him. Nice hitting there by Cano. He's 2 for 2. Big 2-out hit here to keep it going for Nelson Cruz.
After a first pitch strike, he ends up hitting a pretty good pitch. This pitch is off the plate, away from him, right at the knees. Just serves this line drive into left field.
Two out, 1 on. Mariners lead 2-0. Here's Cruz. Infield hit. First time up. Cruz does have his elbow up a lot higher, his right elbow, back to where it was earlier in the year. Gotten away from that a little bit recently.
We were talking about that earlier in the game, Dave, and sometimes that happens and you don't even realize it.
Starts up now. There it is. 1-1. Pitch there by Pineda.
Really good fastball at 95. Able to run that right off the outside corner, elevated it a little bit.
One and two. Going over towards the line, Garrett Jones. For the catch, and that'll do it for the Mariners. They strand a runner in the third and lead 2-0. All right, Jen, thank you very much. Here's Didi Gregorius to lead it off against Iwakuma, bottom of the third, 2-0. Mariners, strike one to Didi. Stepping into the shoes vacated by the retired Derek Jeter. Miller charges. Good, strong, accurate throw. One out.
Another good sign for Iwakuma early, Dave, and that is keeping the ball on the ground. Just one fly ball out for him so far. There you see his pitch count at 25 pitches, 17 strikes.
Jeff Snyder 0 for 2 in last night's game. They brought in Stephen Drew to play second base, but he's hitting just 182. 12 homers, 25 runs batted in. Swings from the left side. Ref Snyder, highly regarded minor league project they've brought up, prospect I should say. Inverted outfielder. Cano comes to get it. Easy out. We're 2 away here in the third. Make sure you follow the Mariners wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bats up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, statcasts, and more. MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Drop the order. Here's Ellsbury for the second time. Comebacker to Iwakuma.
First time through the lineup. I don't think Iwakuma is throwing as hard as he was against the Angels before the break, but I think his location has been excellent so far.
There's a good example right there. Another pitch in on the hands of Ellsbury.
And elevated it. And one of the things that you and I have seen when Iwakuma gets on a good run is although his split will be down in the zone, and he can pitch at the bottom of the zone, he'll pick his spots. And he's one of the best at hitting the very top of the strike zone. On the tracer, you see the red line at the top of the zone. And typically when he pitches inside, he can hit that area, and that's tough for a hitter to get to.
0-2 to Ellsbury. Ball 1. Yankees have 1 hit so far. 2-out single to center by Chase Headley in the second inning. 2 strikeouts, no walks by Iwakuma. 1-2 pitch. Just got a piece. Ellsbury, star with the Red Sox before coming over to the Yankees. Been hurt a lot.
That's one of the better fastballs, but you can see it on the outside corner, our EQC tracer, but at 91 miles an hour.
What's his split compared to some of the other guys you've seen?
He has a really good one. The thing that I like about Iwakuma's split is he rarely has it to where it's moving across the plate. It typically is going to go straight down, and that's what makes it difficult for the hitter. And the other part about it with him, and we saw it from Tanaka yesterday, with Iwakuma, the thing that's amazing to me is because he doesn't throw in that 94, 95, which is what you see with guys with the good split.
Right.
He's able to get away with it. And the separation from his fastball at times is only 3 or 4 miles an hour.
Lomo handled nicely, and Iwakuma's there on time. Good execution, fellas. 2-0 Mariners. First inning home runs. Check out our Geico This Date in MLB history. David Cone pitches a perfect game on Yogi Berra Day at Old Yankee Stadium. Don Larson was in attendance at that ballpark at that ball game as well. Don, of course, throwing the perfect game back in 1956 in the World Series against the Brooklyn Dodgers, and that iconic piece of film and Yogi jumping into his arms. The only perfect game in World Series history.
David Cone had one of the best sliders I'd ever seen.
Oh, yeah. I know they have rotating broadcasters over in the Yankee telecast. I don't think Coney's here today. I know Ken Singleton's working with Michael Kay today. There's Seth Smith to lead things off. In the fourth, Seth, Austin Jackson, and Mark Trumbo. Mariners got the two-run homer. Total of 3 hits in the first inning. 1 hit since. As Headley has an easy opportunity.
First pitch strikes today. 14 batters faced, 9 first pitch strikes for Pineda, and he looks as if he's starting to dial in that cut fastball to the left-hand hitters.
Big man at 6'7", 260. A great first half of the Mariners back in 11. Maybe all-star team. So look at Austin Jackson. Here's 0-1. Turned it up a little bit, missed with 94, 1-1. Back with a strike, 1-2. Get through McCann for ball 2. He's done a heck of a job coming back from missing the entire 2012 season. Remember, he had the right rotator cuff tendonitis. Had to repair an anterior labral tear in his right shoulder. And Jesus Montero, principals in the deal. These two teams swapped back in January of 2012. Sun breaking through the clouds again. 3-2 pitch. And Jackson's aboard.
Rare walk.
Make sure you stay with us after the game. Mariners post game presented by Delta Airlines comes your way. Jed Mueller and Phil Krueger will be with you. I'll play with some happy totals as they talk to Lloyd McClendon. Here's Mike Trumbo. Got fooled on a pitch. Got the barrel to it. And hit it to right field. A few steps shy of the track.
I'd see the Mariners take advantage of a walk. Pineda typically does not walk batters. Well over 100 innings now and only 13 walks. So Jackson walking just his 14th walk on the season.
Jackson 8 out of 15 in base stealing. Brad Miller with 9 leads the ball club. Long look by Pineda. Pitch to Trumbo. Jackson takes off. Throw by McCann. Got him out. Quick hands by Ref Snyder. On the bounce.
A young second baseman recently called up. Take a look at our Alaska Airlines Supermo. He has to get the pick and then get the glove back down quickly. Take another look at it. Austin trying to get his foot in there before he is tagged. I mean, it looks like he ends up tagging him right on the belt buckle before his foot hit the base.
1-1 to Trumbo. Jackson's got 8 steals and has been caught 8 times. Mariners trying to generate some more offense. As we mentioned, they had 2 runs on 3 hits in the first inning. Since then, just 1 hit. And that man is one of the most optimistic, upbeat guys I've ever been around. Realistic too, but at the same time, you know, he keeps a nice little pulse going there with this ball club.
He has to be. Think about all the different personalities that he's dealing with, and that's part of it.
I think my point is that he does it as well or better than anybody that's been around. I'll say that.
I agree with you.
As you know, that's not easy. Two and 2 to Trumbo.
No, it's not easy. And you know this about him too. He is about as competitive as it gets. And when you have that fire, and we've all seen it from time to time, he always shows up the next day ready to go to work.
So he was talking about the situation last night where Beimel came in.
Right.
Beimel's been really good, but the numbers of the next couple of batters coming in against lefties and numbers against Lowe dictated that this was the play. And he said we had everything we wanted, and Joe, you know, it was a rare thing. He missed the spot.
He elevated a fastball.
Yeah.
Not the first, won't be the last.
No, not at all. But, you know, they sit around, kick around games afterwards. And
sure, that's part of it.
No doubt. Edley, a couple steps to his left. And that will do it for the Mariners. They got a base runner wrong, but Jackson got caught stealing. Mariners good news right now, 2-0 lead. Baseball here on Root Sports is brought to you by Raritan Maserati of Kirkland. Eastside Service, the absolute opposite of ordinary. By BNSF Railway, sponsor the BNSF Blast. By Silver Reef Hotel Casino Spa, I-5, exit 260, Ferndale, Washington. New Yankees Stadium, the old configuration just behind it with the track to the right, but those 3 diamonds you see there, that's the site of the original Yankee Stadium. And a number 4 line to the left end. Next time we get a picture to cross, it would be to your right. It's where the Polo Grounds used to be, across the across the river, across the Harlem River. Here's Brett Gardner to lead it off. Gardner, Rodriguez, Teixeira, 2-3-4 against Iwakuma. Struck out 2, giving up just 1 hit. Hasn't walked anybody. Gardner grounded out to Brad Miller at shortstop his first time. Tampa Bay 1-0. 1-0 lead at Toronto, middle of the 4th inning. Lomo with plenty of room. One out. Let's see how he goes after Alex Rodriguez. Got him on a called 3rd strike to end the 1st inning.
I thought it was interesting watching Alex in that at bat because it seemed to me that he was sitting on some sort of off-speed pitch. He took a couple of fastballs middle away that he normally wouldn't take. So I think that his plan was he was going to hit an off-speed pitch, Iwakuma ahead of him, by using the fastball in the outside corner.
Rodriguez having a fine year. Teixeira leads the club with 22 home runs, but Alex has got 19. Did you expect this, him coming off the year being out, new hips?
No. Just missing a year, you wouldn't expect it, especially for a lot of that damage in the first half of the season. You would think it would take him some time just to see some live pitching again, but as you mentioned, 19 home runs for him. There's a good slider from Iwakuma.
You gotta like what you're seeing from Iwakuma, picking up where he left off against the Angels in his last start a week ago. 0-2 to Rodriguez. Got him to chase. 3rd K, 2nd time he's got Alex. One's looking, one's swinging.
This looks like a split. You can see Zunino with the low target. He wants it down out of the strike zone, and he's able to get it there. That's after the slider.
Alex seeing Iwakuma for the first time, and advantage Iwakuma right now. Here's Teixeira. He struck out in a 2-2 pitch leading off the 2nd. Boy, he'd take a lot off of that 71 miles an hour.
He's used the slow curveball a number of times early in the count to try to steal a strike. That's one of the few times that the Yankees have actually taken a swing at it.
Oh, 2. Still a ways to go, but a good Kuma performance here. Get a W, and then you got Felix tomorrow. Sets up nicely. One ball, 2 strikes. Mariners will be home next week at this time. 3 games with Toronto and 3 with Arizona. That'll get us into the last week of July. Inside. But after today, the Mariners have 21 games remaining against plus 500 teams that are currently better than 500. 2-2 pitch. Is that strike we've seen? He wanted that one.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. It was right on the inside corner. It looked like it was right at the top of the strike zone.
It's that zone we've seen him have a lot of success. First 3-ball count today. Three-two to Teixeira. Hit it into the gap. Will hold as Jackson gets it back in the infield quickly. 2nd hit given up by Iwakuma. Support those who protect our West. Now until August 31st, a portion of every purchase of Coors Banquet will be donated to the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. Learn more about the foundation and the Protect Our West program at WFFoundation.org. First hit with a base hit to center by Chase Headley. Now Teixeira to the base knock. 2 outs here in the 4th. Brings up Brian McCann. Two nothing lead on a Cano first inning homer. Breaking ball for strike.
Now there's a slow curve ball again early in the count.
That's trouble. Deep drive, right center field. We got a tie ball game at 2-2. Only Houston's hit more home runs than the Yankees. A new ball game. For McCann, his 15th home run. RBI's 57 and 58.
The things about this game, Dave, that's just not fair at times. Let's not forget the pitch before Teixeira ended up getting his base hit was a pretty good pitch. Looked like it was a strike. Wasn't called a strike. He gets hit on the next pitch, and now the 2-run homer. Pitch on the outside corner for McCann as you take a look at his swing.
He got full extension on that. Sun breaking through big time right now. It's Headley. Looks at strike one. Your home run leaders in the American League: Houston, the Yankees, Toronto, Baltimore, and the Angels. Mariners are 6th in home runs. With 2 runs coming with 2 outs here in the 4th. Bouncing ball to Cano. We played 4 here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees just tied it on a Brian McCann 2-run homer. 2-2 ball game. In the 4th, and coming up tomorrow, we will wrap up this series. Our CenturyLink What's Next? It'll be the King. Felix Hernandez goes against the veteran left-hander CC Sabathia. That should be fun. And opponents, boy, they've been teeing off on CC at a 300 clip. Logan Morrison going to lead it off for the Mariners here in the 5th. Lomo, Mike Zunino, and Brad Miller, 8, 9, and 1. Logan's grounded out to Teixeira at first. The native struck out 2, walked 1 so far. the Mariners to just 1 hit over the last 3 innings. Into the shift. Playing short right field is Jeff Snyder. Improve your on-bus percentage. Riding is easy. Just ask our rider's guide, available at soundtransit.org. One out, brings up Mike Zunino. Mike with a 7-pitch at bat. First time up before striking out. Ooh, that's the third, fourth time McCann's been plunked.
I was going to say, you're right in the face mask.
Yeah.
Seemed to bother him. He just hit a 2-run home run, and he's laughing about that last one.
Another day at the office.
Yeah.
One to Mike. Cano, first pitch he saw. The man aboard in the first inning. Homer slicing deep drive. Left center field. 1-2 to Mike. One out, nobody on. And the pitch. Takes it for ball 2. Bob Nodine, assistant head athletic trainer, retaping the left ankle. Nelson Cruz. Might have been back in the first inning, that infield hit, and then he went hard in the second.
Now there's more tape on the ground right there, so it might have been a situation where his first tape job was bothering him a little bit, so changed it up.
Popped it up short center field for Ellsbury. Two outs, and we get back to Brad Miller. Base hit, a strikeout looking today against Michael Pineda. Resume down in our nation's capital. Nationals lead 3-2 against the Dodgers, top of the 6th. Picking up that game that was shut down last night after 3 times it was stopped because of light outages. Ball 1 to Brad. A good count here, 2-0.
The few times that Pineda has fallen behind to the left-handed hitters, he typically goes with a cutter, tries to hit the outside corner, keep the ball away from him. See what he wants to do with Brad Miller, leadoff hitter. He's going to go inside, cutter inside this time.
Easy play for F. Snyder. Mariners are going 1-2-3 in the 5th in this 2-2 ball game. Hot, humid New York. Thanks, Jen. First pitch to Garrett Jones leading off. It's in there for a strike. Garrett reaching a fielder's choice. First time up. Part-time player with a little bit of pop. 5 home runs. Chops this one off the mound. Coming in is Seager. And he throws him out. Seager played second base at North Carolina, University of North Carolina. Felt like he was back in familiar territory.
Yeah, hasn't forgotten how to do it. And it looked pretty easy. Chopper that gets just past Iwakuma. Kyle, never in a big hurry.
Shortstop Didi Gregorius. Grounded out Brad Miller first time. Yanks this one way foul. Went down and got it.
Yeah, just golfed it. Fortunately, it was foul.
One and one. Robinson Cano with a 2-run homer. First pitch he saw. First inning with Kyle Seager aboard. Mariners had a 2-0 lead. It lasted till 2 outs. Bottom of the 4th. Teixeira looked like he might have been struck out. He gets a base hit, and that man right there, Brian McCann, on an 0-1 pitch with a 2-run homer right center field. Easy play for Cano. And there's 2 outs.
And those are big pitches and big calls in this game, especially in this ballpark. When you look at the Yankees overall, 10 games over 500 here at home. We showed the graphic. They've hit 119 home runs, 72 in this ballpark. They've also homered in 34 out of 43 home games counting today.
That's what they do.
Keep the ball on the ground.
Rev Snyder got him to ground out for Cano's first time. Cano struck out 3, hasn't walked anybody. He's had 1 3-ball count. Outside edge, 1-1. Down the line, that will get fouled. So good to have Iwakuma back in the rotation. And 3 starts in April, then got shut down till 6th of July. Snyder does a good job to keep hitting the deck. Iwakuma missed time with a right lat strain. He went on the DL back on April 24th. One-two pitch. Kansas City at the White Sox, getting ready to start in Chicago. Split a day-night doubleheader yesterday. Here's 1-2. Foul off.
Iwakuma now at 62 pitches, 45 strikes for him. He's throwing a lot of strikes this afternoon, a lot of quality strikes from Iwakuma.
One-two count, 2 outs, nobody on.
Be the 8th pitch of this at bat. He's thrown him everything that he has. He's seen everything from the curveball to a pretty good fastball that's located, just like that last one at 91. Mixed in a slider and a split.
Here's the 1-2 again. And another foul ball. Guess you're putting up a heck of a fight.
And that was the split again. Well located. You can see it on the EQC tracer. Outside corner right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Crafty veteran against a pesky rookie. Struck him out. Kuma wins that battle. That was his 4th K. Yankees are retired in order in the 5th. 2-2 ball game. Mariners and Yankees tied at 2-2. Celebrate Jamie Moyer, the 9th member of the Mariners Hall of Fame. Special luncheon in his honor coming up on August 7th. Enjoy a meal on the Safeco Field infield and listen to great stories and memories from Jamie and other Mariner legends, including Dan Edgar and Sweet Lou. So visit mariners.com/Jamie for more information. Look forward to seeing you out at the ballpark for that great event. Here we go in the top of the 6th. 2-3-4 for the Mariners. Kyle Seager, Robinson Cano, and Nelson Cruz. Seager reached on a fielder's choice and grounded out into the shift to the shortstop. 0 for 2.
And this could be a really important inning for the Mariners. You mentioned it. You have Seager, Cano, who already is homered and has a couple of hits. Cruz due up after that. The Yankees, we've talked about them in this ballpark, but overall this year, when they've had a lead after 6 innings, they're 37-2. You can see what Iwakuma and Pineda have done, almost identical.
Past 2 diving infielders. Base hit, Kyle Seager. 2-0 count. Take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. Indeed it did. 3rd batter up, man on. First pitch that Robinson Cano saw. Gone. He gave it a great ride over that hardware sign for home run number 7 and RBIs 31 and 32. Still got a good fan base here. And they got the Mariner t-shirts there. And Robinson Cano from the Dominican Republic. Got a lot of friends and family who live here in the New York area.
Not surprising to see Pineda throw a good fastball on the inside corner on that first pitch. We showed you the home run. It was up out over the plate. He also has a base hit to left field. That was away from him.
Cano's hit 5 of his 7 home runs in the last 21 games. Trending nicely. That home run he hit earlier, his 80th home run in this ballpark. And only Teixeira's hit more. Here's the drive deep to right. That ain't coming back, baby. Robbie Cano with his second 2-run homer. Mariners back on top, 4-2. Boy, he was nice and relaxed when I talked to him before the ball game. Not pressured by being back in New York. Robert Cano, 2 2-run homers. Fernando Rodney down in the dugout enjoying it.
We'll take a look at it. Trying to go back in on the inside corner. It's more middle in, cut fastball. And Cano, he does not miss it. So a couple of pitches away, a home run to center field, a base hit into left field, and now this home run, he turns on it.
Welcome sight. There's Nelson Cruz. We'll get him back on a home run parade. You don't even have to see. You can look at Lloyd from behind. You can tell he's got a big smile after this guy hit a home run.
Well, he knows how important it is for Robbie to get things going. And as you mentioned, trending and just having huge day today. He's driven in all 4 runs with the 2 homers.
His first multi-home run game as a Mariner. 2-1 to Cruz. Got an infield hit, a fly to right. And for Robbie Cano, his 14th career multi-home run game. Robbie, another one. Every time he asks me, "You all right?" Nah, team's going to be okay. I'm telling you, it's going to be okay. Cruz has gone 15 days without a home run, 3-1 pitch. And he'll take his base on balls. First 3 men have reached here for the Mariners. Second walk issued by Pineda.
Larry Rothschild, pitching coach, on his way out to the mound to talk to Pineda. Pineda now at 85 pitches, 50 strikes from him.
Some action in the Yankee bullpen. Adam Warren starting to heat up. Pineda looks frustrated as Cano has issued a beatdown here today. 2 2-run homers and a single.
We talked about it with Pineda. He typically will not walk batters coming into the game. Just 13 walks. He's walked 2 so far in this one, and only 10 home runs given up. So now 12 total.
Here's Seth Smith. Ball 1. Smitty today reached on the fielder's choice and popped out to third. Four runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Yankees. Ball 2 to Seth. Two Cano home runs takes the Mariner home run total to 97. Started today 6th in the American League. 2-1. So Cano What a wonderful day. 3 for 3. He's driven in 4 runs. He did go 2-2.
You always feel good about doing damage against your former team. He has done a lot of that today. Cano has.
Got to be double the pleasure, right?
Oh, it is.
I mean, you go 3 for 3, and then you're like, wait a minute, it was against these guys? Oh, this ain't even better. Come on.
Probably after the game, he'll probably say it's not a big deal, but.
Please.
Right.
Please. Broke his bat. Teixeira feeds to Pineda. And there's 1 out. Cruz up to second base. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Dave Sims with Mike Blowers and the Root Sports crew. 4-2 in a Robbie Cano day. 2 2-run homers. Comebacker to Pineda and a walk today for Jackson.
A little bit unusual so far in the game here in the 6th inning. A total of 6 runs scored, and this is the first time for either team to hit with a runner in scoring position.
McCann hit a 2-run shot in the 4th for the Yankees to tie it up. On Austin. Big turnaround from the last time the Mariners saw Pineda. He was dominant, striking out 9 and 6+ innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 7-2 victory. That was the Mud Bowl game, if you will, back in Seattle. Felix was perfect through the first 3 innings, then it fell apart on him. One to Jackson. That game was back on Monday, June 1 in Seattle. Warren continues to get ready. Jackson looking to provide a knockout blow right here in the 6th. Cruz goes to third. Headley pointed over. No. Get the guy at first. Headley, the third baseman, wanted no part of that. Hey, let's take a look. Mariners calendar brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Wrap up with the Yankees tomorrow, then that hard-hitting Detroit ball club for 4 games, 3 of them night games, and then come home for Toronto. The Diamondbacks having a better year than a lot of people thought. And then the Minnesota Twins having a really nice year. Detroit, the #1 team in batting average and hits in the American League. They were challenged back home last time. Here's Trumbo, 0 for 2. See if he can catch up. 2-1. See, Fernando Rodney, I've seen him out of the corner of my eye, and he is riding some Yankee fences. A few Mariner fans back there, too, but he's been having a running dialogue in English and Spanish with them guys down there. He's been having some fun.
Why not? Why not have some fun?
Absolutely.
Trumbo doing a great job laying off a couple of close pitches. Now he's in a good hitter's count, 2-0.
A homer a week ago against the Angels. Ahead 2-0. 3-0. How big is that green light he's getting right now?
Turn him loose.
6-3 ball count. Lomo's on deck. That's right. It's not a time to be a wallflower here.
No.
.30.
That's the kind of swing you want to see, 3-0. He missed the pitch, but turn it loose. You can see it's the fastball, middle of the plate, elevated at the top of the strike zone.
Hope he tucked that back shoe in again. 3-1. Fish in there, 3-2.
Yeah, that's the reason why you let him go 3-0, knowing he was going to get a fastball. He comes back 3-1 and throws him a slider. Pretty good one, too, right on the outside corner. Next pitch will be 100 for Pineda.
Two outs, 2 runs in. Cruz at third. 3 now time call. Pineda struck out 2, walked 2, giving up 2 2-run homers to Robinson Cano. Another big house here at Yankee Stadium, almost 48,000 last night. Looks like ditto today. 3-2.
Mark, to me, really looks like he's starting to shorten up his swing. And I think that situation right there, 3-2, he wasn't sure if he was going to come back with the slider or get the fastball. He ends up getting a fastball at 93 miles an hour. But he wanted to see it first. And earlier on when he was struggling, he was just hacking away and not seeing the baseball, doing a much better job of that now.
Breaking ball fouled off.
He was able to stay on it. This will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
One pitches for Pineda. Good.
No stride. Trying to hit a line drive somewhere, pick up that run.
3-2 from Pineda to Trumbo. Breaking ball, bounce foul. Inning started well. Kyle Seager, base hit to right, 2-run homer Cano on an 0-1 pitch. Cruz reached on a walk, moved to second on a fielder's choice, moved to third on a ground out. And now they're 2 outs, and Trumbo doing some battle here with Pineda.
Well, Pineda's not giving in to him at all. A 3-2 count. He's seen 3 different pitches: the fastball, the changeup, and that last pitch, the slider.
Do it again at 3-2.
That was a cut fastball. You can see on the EQC tracer, well located right on the outside corner.
Trying to build on this 4-2 lead. Do not want to see those 2 monsters at the end of the Yankee bullpen, Betances and Miller. Not interested. Get this lead, build on it. 3-2. It's to Trumbo. One of his best at bats since he's been with the Mariners.
Pretty good battle going on right now. 10 pitches in the at bat. You can see he's moved it all around the strike zone. That last pitch on the inside corner.
One more time, 3-2. Did he get enough? No, it's going to stay in the ballpark. But Cano, 2-run homer, his second of the day, highlights the Mariners' 6th. And he made it look easy. Welcome sight. Drove it out of here against Pineda. And the Mariners have a 4-2 lead. Baseball here on Root Sports, being brought to you by AM/PM. Too much good stuff. And by Clearwater Resort. So many reasons to come out and play. Great look at Yankees Stadium here on a hot, humid day in the Bronx, New York. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and the Root Sports crew. 4-2 Mariners. Robbie Cano's driven in all 4 runs. He has 3 of the 6 hits. It's Kobe Ellsbury leading off here, bottom of the 6th. Ellsbury, Gardner, and Rodriguez top the order.
Iwakuma in great shape with his pitch count, just 66 pitches as he works here in the 6th inning. A lot of strikes, 48 strikes.
Ground ball eludes Morrison and Cano. Ellsbury, running threat, 14 out of 20. He's bored.
Looks like Iwakuma's able to jam him a little bit, but he finds the hole on the right side. Morrison not able to get to it, gets past the diving Cano.
That ends at 0 for 11 for Ellsbury. Gardner 0 for 2 today. Round out to short, foul out to Lomo. Ball 1. Iwakuma gave up 4th inning, 2-out, 2-run homer to Brian McCann for the Yankee runs. There's Ellsbury, what he's done on the bags this season. Behind 2-0.
A couple of really good pitches and wasn't able to get the call on either one. There you can see it on the EQC tracer. Next pitch will be 70 for him.
Bright sunshine now, 2-0 pitch. That's enough to drop in. Little dunk shot. Ellsbury will hold it second. The 2 fastest runners the Yankees have. They're aboard for Alex Rodriguez here in the 6th.
Another good fastball in the inside corner, jams him. It was elevated, able to dump it into left field. And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout going to make a trip to the mound. Nobody throwing in the Mariners bullpen. Iwakuma now at 70 pitches. See Mark Lowe stretching in the pen, but nobody getting loose.
Anthony Suzuki, interpreter, big part of the ball club. This is a great rule that they put in Major League Baseball, that you can take the interpreter out there and talk to your pitcher.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, it took till last year, right?
I agree. I know, but the thing about it is I know that when I was playing over in Japan,
right,
that you could take the interpreters out there with you.
Why not?
Yeah.
When you're sitting there, you're over in Japan, the guy comes out and he's going, yum, 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 you're going, really? What?
No idea. Right. And so it makes sense to have him go out there.
One of those rules that was right in front of us and we didn't even realize it, right?
Joe Beimel pitched in yesterday's game. He is now getting loose.
One big spot here. You saw Rodriguez hurt the Mariners last night. Solo home run into seventh, turned out to be the game winner. Now he stands in, nobody out, runners at first and second. He's the go-ahead run. He struck out looking and swinging. Last time swinging on 3 pitches.
And he's been the hot hitter for him. He's had the go-ahead RBI in the last 4 ball games for the Yankees.
Strike one, Alex. Infield double play depth. Good idea. Miss. 1-1. Wheels turning or what? 1-1, 2 on, 2-run game. Pitch. Strike 2.
And for Iwakuma, we'll take a look at this last pitch. That's the split, 86 miles an hour. All 3 pitches on the inside corner or just off the plate inside.
And had just enough movement, too. Couple of hits for the Yankees in this inning. They have 5 in the afternoon. 1-2 pitch, they ride. Got him! Struck him out! Kuma with his 5th K of the afternoon and none bigger. 3rd time he's retired Rodriguez via the strikeout.
We'll take a look at it. He goes back to the split again. A little bit of difference in the speed, but it's that little bit of downward movement right towards the end. That's enough to get Rodriguez to swing over the top of it.
One out brings up Mark Teixeira. Kuma thought he had him struck out on a 2-2 pitch. Count went to 3-2, and he singled to center. And McCann followed with a 2-run homer to tie it up in the 4th. Teixeira struck out his first time, so he's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Ball 1. Ellsbury led off with a base hit to right. Gardner blooped one to left center. Rodriguez struck out, now 1-0 to Teixeira. Wilson, Shreve warming up. Here's a ball, hit the Lomo. Hit the lead runner, Kuma, to first, but Brad Miller holds on, so it'll be 2nd and 3rd. They do get the 2nd out. Make that 1st and 3rd, beg your pardon.
A really good decision by Brad Miller. Logan able to get the lead runner, but there wasn't much of a chance to turn the double play, so Brad ended up eating it. Didn't want to give him a chance to throw it away and score a run right there. But I think he made the right decision, and now Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. It looks like that's going to be it for Iwakuma.
So Lloyd McClendon coming to get his right-hander. 5 2/3 innings work. 4-2 lead, getting attaboys from his teammates. Nice job by Iwakuma. Good insights there, Jen. No doubt about it.
Take a look at Iwakuma and what he was able to do today. 5 2/3, 5 hits, couple runs they were earned. Didn't walk anybody, 5 strikeouts, 76 pitches. He's responsible for the 2 base runners. And for Beimel on the air, ERA right at 3 in 27 innings, 16 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .247 against him.
McCann 1 for 7 against Joe B. That great move over first.
And maybe the reason why they decided to make the change. McCann, 2-run homer. Ended up getting a fastball out over the plate. His 15th home run on the year.
The runner set at the corners. You got Ellsbury at third, Teixeira at first. 2 outs. Breaking ball. Right center field. Jackson calling for it. He's there to make the catch, and Beimel gets the job done. Mariners turn away the Yankees here in the 6th. Seattle with a 4-2 lead. being brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today only at Jack in the Box. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Great day for Robbie Cano and the Mariners so far. Robbie's hit 2 two-run homers. The difference in this ball game, 4-2 Mariners as we go to the 7th inning. Felix will be on the mound tomorrow to wrap up this series before we head off to Detroit for 4 games. New pitcher for the Yankees. They go to the bullpen, go to one of their left-handers, young Chasen Shreve.
32 appearances on the year, and he's pitched well, 2.02. 37 strikeouts and 35 2/3. Has a good fastball. Opponent's hitting 179. He's given up 3 home runs this year.
First batter is Logan Morrison. He looks at a strike. Momo today ground out the first and a ground out the second. Morrison, Zunino, and Brad Miller 8-9-1 for the Mariners. Two and 0. So 3-0 to Lomo. If they can get him aboard. On deck, Mike Zunino 0 for 2. Snyder, the second baseman, is in short right field. The ball goes right to him. 0 for 3 day for Lomo. Everybody, the Mariners and EQC salute the men and women of the armed forces with a discount all season long. Members of the military receive 10% off select main, terrace, and view level seats. Simply show your military ID at Safeco Field's box office to take advantage of your savings. Ball 1 to Zunino. Mike with a strikeout. Second inning. Fly to center in the 5th. Pitch diving away from him.
A couple of good changeups.
Shreve coming over from Atlanta.
Mark Lowe getting loose in the pen for the Mariners.
Two and 1 to Zunino. Shreve out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Still lives there. Attended College of Southern Nevada. $15 games with the Braves last year. No record. ERA 0.73. 12 1/3 innings. Brad Miller on deck. The 3-1 pitch. Popped it up. Playable. So Sherrick calling off everybody.
Not an easy play. He's fighting the sun, and it's right on top of the mound. But what I did like is that he called it early. You get into that no man's land. We've seen it before, Dave. We're right in the middle of the mound, and you're not sure who's going to take it. He called it really early and had to actually run over the backside of the mound to make the catch. But by doing that, you get everybody else out of the way.
It's not a comforting feeling. No, you're going to get a piece of that mound.
No, it's not.
There's Brad Miller, 1 for 3 today.
And I think when he called it, he thought it was going to be on his side of the mound, and then the wind took it.
Exactly. Yankee defenders moving to their right in the infield for Brad Miller. You see Gregorius up the middle. Cano's driven in all 4 runs, has 3 of the 6 Mariner hits. Tremendous afternoon for the Mariners second baseman. Miller's got a 1-1 count. One and 2. There's Mark Lowe. Headley, Jones, and Gregorius coming up. A switch hitter, a lefty, and a right hand and a left-hand hitter. You want Miller 2 and 2. Two-two pitch from Shree. Struck him out. Mariners go in order in the 7th. Second time Brad's cage today. Mariners lead at 4-2. Four-two lead. 2 2-run homers by Robinson Cano. We'll take you back to the first inning. First pitch he sees with Seager aboard. And he hit this a long way over the sign there. Got a base hit to left field in the 3rd as well. McCann, though, he comes up. They thought Teixeira struck out. Teixeira gets a base hit, and then McCann on an 0-1 pitch hits his 15th home run. That ties the game at 2-2. Now to the 6th. Man aboard, and Cano. No question about it. Home run number 8. 2 today. He's driven in all 4 runs, 3 of the 6 hits for the Mariners. And last night it was Kyle Seager coming up big. And today, Robinson Cano. Iwakuma had a terrific outing last time against the Angels, and Mikey picked up where he left off.
No, I think you're absolutely right, and he had great command. There's a good fastball to Alex Rodriguez to get a strikeout, and elevating the fastball when he wanted to, was able to keep his split down. A lot of ground ball outs. Good play by Logan Morrison on a tricky hop. Iwakuma doing his job covering first base. Gets Alex again on a split. One of the things I really liked on his split today was able to keep it down out of the strike zone, just like that last strike on that split. So for Iwakuma, pitching in a tough ballpark against a hot team, thought he did pretty well. 76 pitches to 5 2/3, 5 hits. Gave up 2 earned runs. Didn't walk anybody today at 5 strikeouts. And for low on the year, 28 appearances, a 0.64 ERA, has 37 strikeouts and 28 innings. Big number for him. Opponents hitting just 220.
Sensational. Doesn't begin to describe how good Mark Lowe's been for the Mariners this year.
He's had dominant stuff at times. We've seen him at 95 to 97 miles an hour with a hard slider. That slider that he's come up with has really made a difference for him, along with being healthy again. He has been outstanding for the Mariners out of the bullpen.
Well, he's going to get switch hitter Chase Headley will bat lefty against him. Garrett Jones will bat, who's a lefty, and Didi Gregorius, another lefty. Headley's 0 for 2 against Mark.
Good job by Joe Beimel again today. Bouncing right back. Pitched in yesterday's ball game. Of course, gave up the home run. Comes right back today and gets an out in a tough situation, first and third.
As you know, like defensive backs, these relievers have short
to.
memories. They're able to flush it.
Well, you're right. You have to.
Swing and a miss by Headley, and right before that pitch, Kyle Seager joined Cano on the right side of the infield. Headley, Jones, and Gregorius 6, 7, and 8 here in the 7th inning. Headley today a single to center and a ground out to Cano.
Good fastball by Lowe at 96 miles an hour. Talking about his slider, how good it's been. He's also developed a changeup that he'll use against left-handed hitters.
Mark's got the advantage, 0-2. Fastball way upstairs at 96. A lot of room for Jackson. Runs it down.
Another good jump by Austin Jackson in center field. He was actually shading towards right center. Ball jammed Headley and was fading away from him, but able to outrun it.
Tampa Bay and Toronto tied 2-2. Top of the 8th up at Rogers Center. Picked up that Dodger Nats game. Right now, top of the 9th. Nats lead at 5-3 over LA. Those are the only other games of progress at the moment. Minnesota plays at Oakland later. Boston's at the Angels. Texas plays at Houston tonight. Garrett Jones. 0-1 pitch. Jones and Lowe facing off for the first time. Lloyd McClendon got to be thrilled to have his second baseman, his perennial all-star second baseman, having such a big day. His old stomping grounds here in New York. The 0-2. Struck him out.
Really good fastball at 97 miles an hour. He wanted to elevate it. Gets ahead 0-2. He's just trying to elevate this fastball in the outside corner, able to get it there.
Quick 2 outs here in the Yankees 7th. Brings up the Yankees shortstop, Didi Gregorius. 0 for 2, couple of ground outs. And hard, fair ball down into the corner. Gregorius, good speed. Cruz digs it out. Gregorius will hold with a 2-out double here in the 7th. His 13th double this season.
This is an off-speed pitch, just 86 miles an hour. Like maybe the changeup stayed out in front of it, able to keep it fair. Himself in the scoring position with a couple of outs. The Yankees so far this afternoon are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
Gregorius at second, 2 outs. Second baseman batting in a 9-hole, Rob Refsnyder. 0 for 2 with a ground out to Cano and a strikeout. Mark Lowe, the third pitcher, used today by the Mariners. 5 2/3 for Iwakuma, a third of an inning for Bymore. Easy play, Lomo. Fine outing. First, a fine inning here in the 7th. 5. Mark Lowe gives up what proves to be a harmless double. Mariners go to the 8th, 4-2 lead. Here at Yankees Stadium. Warm up your voices for next Friday's fireworks night at Safeco Field. Post-game pyrotechnics. They're going to feature a sing-along soundtrack to some of the great rock classics like Don't Stop Believin' and Shout. Visit Mariners.com to pick up tickets for Friday's fireworks night presented by Seattle City Light. Brighten up here as the sun has fought its way through some clouds. It's going to be hot and humid tomorrow. Here's Kyle Seager. Lead off against Jason Shreve. Shreve working his second inning. Went 1-2-3 in the 7th. Seager, Cano, and Cruz. They're in the 8th. One, 2 to Kyle.
Kyle 1 for 3 this afternoon, but he scored a couple of runs.
He was aboard for both Cano home runs.
Nuno getting loose.
Washington just completed a 5-3 win. As you look at Adam Warren for the Yankees. Nationals completing a 5-3 win over the Dodgers. That was completion of last night's game. Two and 2. Seager leading off the Mariners 8th. He's got a 2-2 pitch. Popped it up. Gregorius calls off Headley. to make the catch. Take a look at the location of the balls that Cano hit out of the yard here today.
Well, this is the first pitch he saw in his first at bat. Elevated fastball up, out over the plate. Able to get the barrel to it, drive it out to dead center field. Then a cutter in on the inner half. Turns on it and hits it deep into the seats in right field.
He knew it. Grenada knew it immediately.
Not very often you have a resume as long as Robbie Cano's, but he's never hit 3 home runs in a game.
It'll be a first time for everything, Mike.
How about it?
Cano's driven in all 4 runs. Has 3 of the 6 hits for the Mariners. Joe Girardi, his 8th season. Got his team in first place and seen his share of home runs hit by his ball club over the years. He's a Cano fan base here at the stadium. All right, he's carrying the end. There we go. You got to hold it up. Down there, the left field foul pole, mid-deck level.
Well, good count for him. He can get a fastball he can handle.
Just thinking right along with you.
Fernando Rodney has joined Nuno in the bullpen, so lefty-righty getting loose for the Mariners.
2-2 to Robbie. There's Fernando along with Vidal Nuno, Mike Rojas, the bullpen coach. So Cano, 6 of his 8 home runs over the last 21 days. 2-2. Count runs full. Shreve just turned 25 6 days ago. Limited action with the Braves last year. Here he is with the Yankees. 3-2 pitch. To Sherritt. Shreve. And they get out number 2. First time they've retired Cano today. Mariners Team Store Fan Dream Stakes. The contest continues on, and when you stop by any of the 5 Mariner Team stores to sign up, you're automatically entered to win 10 great prizes. It includes authentic Mariners apparel, a photo with a player, or even the chance to throw out the first pitch. Stop by a Mariners Team store to enter. Joe Girardi making a pitching change, going to bring a right-hander in to face Nelson Cruz. 2 outs, nobody on in the 8th. Mariners lead it 4-2. middle game of a 3-game set. Mariners looking to get this one and have the King take the mound tomorrow. Our CenturyLink What's Next will be going against the veteran left-hander CC Sabathia, struggling this year, 4-8 record. Opponents hitting 300. Meanwhile, flip side, look at Felix's numbers. Stellar. And he pitches well here in Yankee Stadium, new Yankee Stadium, a 5-1 record.
Sunday day game tomorrow. He will be pumped up for that one.
And it's going to be hot. It's going to be humid.
Big crowd. Take a look at the numbers for Warren, a 3.65 ERA. Giving up 8 home runs this year. Opponents hitting .242.
Cruz 1 for 2 with a walk today. Popped up, out of play. Another good crowd here at the stadium, 46,119. Cruz has got a 1-1 count. Yankees #1 in attendance in the American League, 1.68 million to this point. Fouled off. One and two to Cruz. Takes ball 2. Nuno and Rodney continue to stay active. Cruz 1 for 3 against Warren. It was a home run. Full count. Seth Smith on deck. Three-2 pitch to Cruz. Staying alive. Born out of Birmingham, Alabama, lives in Riverview, Florida now, 27 years old, 6'1", 224, 3.6 record last year, 2.97 ERA. 3-2 to Nelly, walked in. Seth Smith have a chance to do some damage here in the 8th inning.
Against Pineda, Pineda was throwing a lot of cut fastballs in on his hands. Adam Warren, he's more over the top, so we'll see if they try to pitch him inside. Warren has a good fastball. He's at 94, 95 miles an hour here in this inning.
Big one to Seth. 0 for 3 today. Outside for ball 1, 1-1. Cano opened the scoring in the first inning, 2-run homer. McCann tied it with a 2-run homer in the 4th. Cano, 2-run homer again, this time in the 6th for the 4-2 lead. 1-1, Seth. And it takes strike 2. Ball 2 strikes. Ball 2 with Cruz at first.
All off-speed pitches so far. Hasn't challenged him with the fastball. Change-up, curveball, a couple of sliders.
Two-two pitch.
There's the fastball. 95 right on the inside corner.
Trying to add some insurance runs here. 4-2 Mariners. Pitch. Ball 3. Austin Jackson's on deck. 0 for 2 with a walk. Cruz will take off. 3-2 pitch. Punch foul.
Not a surprise to see Seth Smith looking at a lot of pitches in an at-bat. Next pitch will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat.
Warren work. 42. Into the shift is Refsnyder. He throws him out. Nothing across in the 8th. Mariners with a 4-2 lead. Casino big catch. Take it back to when Iwakuma was in the game. He had a couple big moments. You're going to look at some right here.
Maybe a few of the biggest ones is him being able to strike out Alex Rodriguez. Strikes him out 3 times today. Freezes him on that fastball. And they don't get him to chase the split a couple of times. So for Iwakuma today, 5 strikeouts, 3 of them on Alex Rodriguez.
Third one was big with a couple of men aboard in the 6th. Able to strand those 2 in the 6th inning. Third man out of the pen takes over for the Mariners. Left-hander Vinal Nuno.
For Nuno, 12 appearances on the year, 2.84 ERA, 12 strikeouts, only 1 walk for him in 12 2/3. Opponent's hitting .255 against him.
Top of the Yankee order here in the 8th. Jacoby Ellsbury, Brett Gardner, Alex Rodriguez. Seager might have a play. He does. Ooh, just missed it. New life for Ellsbury.
Well, Kyle with the sunglasses on, fighting the sun, a little bit of wind.
Saw that wind blowing from right field, foul pole to the left field foul pole last night. Same thing here today. One to count. Ellsbury 0 for 1 against Nuno. Fly ball left center field, hanging up for Seth Smith. 1 out. Ellsbury 1 for 4 today. Bring up Brett Gardner. Got a blip single to left in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. Kansas City Ball Club has a 3-1 lead at the White Sox. End of 3. As Gardner looks at ball 1. There's a strike. 1-1. Tampa Bay trying to hold off Toronto. It's 3-2. Rays. Bottom of the 9th in Toronto. Two and 1. Fernando Rodney looks like he could be getting A-Rod. Two and 2. Nuno in his second stint with the big club this year after being obtained from Arizona. Long foul ball. Nuno and Mark Trumbo coming over as part of a 6-player trade in early June. Foul back again.
Making some good pitches to Gardner, but really having a fine year again. He was an all-star. Calling off some good pitches, came into the game hitting .302. Another foul ball. This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat.
Center fielder Jackson shading towards left center and not deep. 2-2 pitch. Count runs forward. Rodriguez on deck. Struck out 3 times today, twice swinging. Payoff pitch to Gardner. Struck him out as Zanino holds on to the tip. And there's 2 outs.
And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. So important to retire those hitters, the good hitters for the Yankees too. Both of them hitting over 300, and Nuno doing a fine job against the lefties.
Real nice work. Nuno does his job. No Rodney time. A-Rod 2 for 12 against Fernando. Let's see what happens when we get back. Jen, thank you very much. Fernando Rodney. Bring him on here in the 8th. They get Alex Rodriguez with 2 outs, nobody on.
For Rodney, his 38th appearance on the year, 5.5 ERA. Pitched 36 innings, has 28 strikeouts, 17 walks. Good fastball in the mid-90s, use a changeup.
Rodriguez struck out looking, swinging, and swinging. Strike one. All 3 strikeouts at the hands of Sashi Iwakuma. Carson Smith's going to get the 9th inning. Bugs Bunny changeup, and restless Yankee fans here as Rodriguez looked bad on that one. Good pitch by Fernando.
For the Mariners pitchers today, and you mentioned Iwakuma, if they throw him a fastball, it's been inside almost the entire time. They're trying to keep it in on his hands. This will be a changeup.
Well, 2 strikes. Big out right here. Teixeira's on deck, followed by McCann. Fernando ahead 1-2. Up high for ball 2.
Crowding him with the fastball again. Good fastball from Rodney at 97.
Pitch to A-Rod. Right off the fist. 0 for 4 day for Alex. Rodney gets the job done, as does the rest of the relief corps. We've played 8 at Yankee Stadium. Cano and the Mariners lead it 4-2. Where the Mariners have the lead as we go to the top of the 9th. Take a look at the American League West via the Delta Airlines Keep Climbing standings. Angels by half game over the Astros. Astros playing the Rangers this weekend. Mariners 8.5 off the pace. Win today and then get excited about tomorrow's series finale with Felix Hernandez on the mound here at Yankee Stadium. Austin Jackson leads off. Austin Jackson, Mark Trumbo, Logan Morrison here in the 9th. Coming up tomorrow, there's the King, 5-1, a 1.37 ERA, 7 starts, 6 quality starts, 2 shutouts here in the new Yankee Stadium, which opened in '09.
Carson Smith continues to throw in the Mariners bullpen. Carson will take over in the ninth.
Lima, Lowe, Nuno, and Rodney. Good work today out of the pen
Yes.
for Sashi Wakuma. 1-2 to Austin. He's gone. 1 down here in the ninth. Bring up Mark Trumbo, lined out to right, grounded out to third. Had a long at bat before flying out to center. He's 0 for 3. Pitch he was chasing when he first arrived with the Mariners, strike 1.
Yeah, just guessing fastball, ended up getting a slider off the corner. Thought he was going to get a first pitch fastball, took a chance.
Oh, 1 to Mark. 1-1. On a strike to Trumbo. Swings through. Here's Capuano warming up for the Yankees. Put it in play and gets a base hit.
Overall, he's had some pretty good at bats. Finally able to check in with a base hit on a tough pitch. This pitch is on the outside corner at the knees and just goes with it. Finds a hole on the right side of the infield. Chris Taylor is going to come out and pinch run for Trumbo. But he had to battle today and ends up going 1 for 4.
Cuomo looking for a hit as well. 3 groundouts today. Taylor back to scramble. Morrison seeing Warren for the first time. Warren's in a strike. Outfield fairly deep for Lomo. 1 out, 1 on. Takes ball 1. What did you like about the hot run that he had about a couple 3 weeks ago?
I like the fact that he was using the entire field. He was really, more than anything, staying center field to left center field. And if they made a mistake, he would hurt them. 12 home runs on the year. And I think sometimes get out front, try to pull a little bit too much, get you into trouble. I think we saw it from Logan last year. Started in August, late August sometime. And it really started to quiet down at home plate.
Perfect last 6-7 weeks. Ball and 2 strikes. Decent lead by Taylor. 1 out, 1-2 pitch here to Lomo. Runner goes. Swung on and fouled tip. Got Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire. Lomo grinding along at bat here. 4-2 Mariner lead, top 9. Carson Smith ready for the home knife. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Taylor holds. Logan takes up high for ball 2. Texas and Houston later on. Minnesota, Oakland later, and same for Boston and the Angels. 2-2. Strike 3 call. Adam Warren with his second strikeout. There's 2 away here in the 9th. Brings up Mike Zunino. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Mike, throw over to first. Longest game by stadium. Not surprised by this. Yankees play here against the Red Sox. You better bring 2 box lunches.
Surprised that Fenway Park's not up a little bit higher on the list.
Runner goes. Pitch fouled off. Chris Taylor pinch running for Mark Trumbo. Singled on a 1-2 pitch to right field with 1 out.
Like Lloyd McClendon trying to go with a hit and run right there. Pitch a little bit off the plate away. Zunino able to foul it off, but it looked like a hit and run. I don't think it was a straight steal.
Put it on again here, 1-1.
Why not? Sometimes managers like to do that with the guy at the plate too. If they think he's going to get a decent pitch to hit, get him swinging the bat. And for Mike in a hit and run, he's going to try to hit it to the right side. Huge hole on the right side of the infield with the shift on.
The entire right side. Runner goes. Throw down to second and in safely with the stolen base, Chris Taylor. Taylor with the bag, his 3rd.
It's a pretty good jump. McCann likes to get rid of the ball quickly, never squared up his shoulders, and you can see the ball tailing out towards right center field. But a good jump by Taylor.
2 out RBI out there for Zunino. 2-1 pitch. That'll get out of play.
Haven't been a lot of these opportunities for the Mariners this afternoon. I have them 0 for 2 runners in scoring position. And scoring all 4 of their runs on 2 2-run homers by Cano.
And he's got 3 of their 7 hits. Cano's really been an impact guy here for Seattle. 2-2, 2 outs. Runner at second. 4-2 Mariner lead. That runs full.
Brad Miller waiting on deck. Capuano, the left-hander, ready to go in the pen for the Yankees.
Three and two to Zunino. Right center field, hanging up for Garrett Jones. He makes the play, and here we go. Bottom 9, Mariners lead 4-2, and Carson Smith's going to take over. Worn by the gentleman in the beard. Good to see Mariner fans in the building here at Yankee Stadium. Coming up tomorrow, it'll be Happy Felix Day. 11-5 record, 5-1 here at New Yankee Stadium. He goes against the veteran C. Sabathia.
It usually is a Happy Felix Day for Felix when he pitches here in New York. Sabathia, we'll see what he has. His fastball velocity has been down this year. Hopefully the Mariners can take advantage of that. Carson Smith going to take over. Trying to lock down the save. They will end up getting Teixeira, McCann, and Headley here in the 9th for Carson. 47 appearances, a 1.48 ERA. 6 saves and 7 opportunities. Really pitched well. Has a good fastball. He'll be in the low to mid 90s. And of course, the great slider.
And it is a wipeout, isn't it?
It really is. The interesting to watch him. He's going to get left-handed hitters. Headley a switch hitter, so he'll hit lefty, but 4 lefties due up.
Mariners with a 4-2 lead. A day that right now belongs to Robinson Cano. 2 2-run homers. A 3-for-4 day. The Yankees ever dangerous, especially in this ballpark. They got the shift on for Teixeira with Seager over on the right side. And first pitch strike to the Yankee first baseman. Tex 1 for 3. There's Seager, and then you got Cano in short right field. Back with the second strike.
Changeup.
Ball 1.
Pretty good slider. Just missed. Yeah, you can see it on the EQC tracer. It was on the outside corner, maybe down a little bit.
4-2 Mariners. Pitch to Teixeira. Missed. 2-2. Here we go. 2-2 pitch. Jackson had to readjust, going back, looking up, goes off the fence. Lead off double for Teixeira. The 0-2 is right, and had to come back left. It cost him a step or two. The ball was really well hit though. So a double for Teixeira, his 17th double, his second hit of the ball game, and it brings the tying run to the plate.
And that's on a fastball middle away. Take a look at the swing by Teixeira. Again, a much better low ball hitter. You see this ball land right off the fence.
Time called by McCann.
With that double, Andrew Miller starting to get loose.
Some work cut out here for Carson Smith. First pitch to McCann. Ball one. Here's the 1-0. In there for strike. Cano out short right field. Outfield deep. Cruz practically on a track in right field. Outside for ball two. Teixeira doubles on a 2-2 pitch to start this inning. Two on to McCann. Bounces it foul. First base coach Tony Payton. Drama starting to build here in the Bronx. Mariners holding a 4-2 lead. McCann the tying run at the plate. Pitch. Struck him out.
Well, we talked about the wipeout slider, and he throws it right here. It just disappears on McCann. It looked like it was going to be a fastball middle in. By the time he went to attack it, it disappeared on him. Well located slider.
Chase Headley, the hitter. He's 1 for 3. Pitch. They get 2-0.
And Lloyd McClendon out of the dugout. Certainly not going to make a pitching change here. Nobody's throwing in the Mariner pen. He just wants to have a conversation with Carson and probably Mike Zunino on what they're doing.
Quick, explicit message. Two-0 count. Teixeira's at second with a leadoff double. There's one out. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 2-0 pitch. Fouled it off. Garrett Jones is on deck for the Yankees. Big pitch at 2-1. 3 balls, 1 strike. What does he need a strike here? 3-1. There it is. It's helped him out. 3-2.
Pretty good fastball at 94 miles an hour. You see the location of it. Middle in, that's a dangerous area.
Three and 2, pay it off here. Pitch. Bouncing ball goes foul. Tampa Bay wins at Toronto 3-2. Big spot for young Carson Smith. 3-2 to Headley. Struck him. No. Yes, he did. He struck him out. Ball gets by Zunino. He's got to hold on. And now moving from second to third is Teixeira. Oh, brother.
I think this is the slider. You can see Mike set up. Looks like he's in good shape. It is the slider. Swings, misses it badly.
Oof.
Probably going to be a pass ball.
Yeah, he reached for it. Couldn't believe he didn't have it.
He looked in his glove. He thought he had it too. That'll be a wild pitch.
Strikeout. Wild pitch. And now at the plate, the winning run. 1 out.
And it looks like Young came out to pinch run.
Eric Jones. Some damage to the Mariners in Seattle. Carson Smith throws ball 1. Carson ready. Chris Young, the runner at first. Bouncing ball foul.
Never easy in the stadium, is
Oh,
it, Dave?
are you kidding?
Andrew Miller, closer for the Yankees, continues to throw in their bullpen. Nobody getting loose in the Mariner bullpen. This next pitch will be 20 for Carson Smith here in the inning.
That's why you kept pulling to get a few more runs. 4-2 is good, but 5-6, 7-2 sounds a lot better. 1-1 pitch here to Jones. Stopped by Zunino on ball 2. One out, runners at the corners. Tying runs aboard. Alex Rodriguez did not impact in this game the way he did last night when he hit a home run. Struck out 3 times today. 2-1 here to Jones. Off the fist, 2-2. Just joining us, Iwakuma had a fine start. 5 2/3. 5 hits, 2 runs. No walks, 5 Ks. In 76 pitches, he did give up a home run. Bullpen's done a real nice job, but things have gotten a little bit taut and tense here. Bottom of the 9th. 2-2. Another good save by Zunino. Counts run full.
And another slider from Carson. Down and in. Good play by Zunino to keep it in front of him.
3-2, dangerous hitter. Pitch from Smith. Fouled off.
Another good battle. We've seen a lot of long at-bats on both sides today.
We're here. Hit a one-hopper here right to Cano. They turn 2. Let's get out of here. Pitch to Jones. Slow roller. Miller gets Jones for out number 2. Run scores. It's a 1-run ball game. Young advances to second base.
And a really good play by Brad Miller. You can see him playing towards the middle of the diamond. Had to come back a little bit. Short pick and gets rid of it quickly. Gets Jones by a step.
Chris Young, he's at second with the tying run, 2 outs. Brings up Didi Gregorius. Doubled down the right field line. His last time up, he's 1 for 3. And a first pitch strike. Time granted. One. Looks in. It's got that little bit of a look of Elvis Presley there. Peers in. Pitch outside. 2-1. 8th strike. Mariners not deep in the outfield. Center fielder Jackson about a step towards right. Pitch at 2-1. There's that pitch again. Down even.
And you can see on the EQC tracer, both of them right on the outside corner. Seems to have better command of his slider than he does his fastball.
Snyder on deck. Yankees down to their final strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Tying run at second. Carson Smith ready. Pitch to Gregorius. Fouled off.
Yeah, right back with the slider again. Did a good job of keeping it down, trying to get the ground ball if he hits it. Next pitch will be 30 in the inning for Smith.
That's a lot for him. Huge spot here, trying to nail it down for the Mariners and to even this series at a game apiece with Felix going tomorrow. Smith ready. 2-2 to Gregorius. Ground ball to Cano. Fitting that he'd end the game. Yes, sir. Mariners win it 4-3. Robbie Cano drives in all 4 runs, and Carson Smith saves it. Mariners even this series at a game apiece.
Excellent job by Iwakuma today. Did give up the 2-run home run, but overall, I think another step forward for him. And how about the bullpen? Bullpen today, 5 relievers combined to hold down the Yankees. Yankees ended up 0 for 8 today with runners in scoring position. So